Hello everyone and welcome. This is Chloe with Cousin DIY. Today I'm going to show you how to make a macrame wall hanging like this one. I'm going to get set up. I'll be back and we'll get started. To make this wall hanging, you'll want a wall or a pegboard or some kind of horizontal work surface to work on. And we have pegboards, so that's what I chose. But you could also hang a board, prop it on something, and use nails to anchor your ring. I've gone ahead and I have cut 11 6.5-foot cords. And this is a 6-inch ring. Today, the previous wall hanging I showed you, I had wrapped the ring with yarn like this one. And that's an option. If you choose to do that, you'll cut 4 feet of yarn, and that's enough to wrap all the way around a 6-inch ring, which is what this one is. And then when the ends meet, you just knot the ends together and snip the tails. But someone mentioned they thought it would look pretty with just the gold ring showing, so I'm going to make it that way today. So we sell this ring as a cousin product. You'll find it on our website. And these wooden beads that I use come in a wooden bead assortment that you'll also find on our website. When I looked for yarn, I came across this yarn at the store and I just fell in love with the texture of it. It's bulky, it's very soft, and I just thought it would complement these beads really well. So that's why I chose this. All right, let's get started. The first step is to mount your cords. I'm going to refer to the yarn as cords now. The next step is to start mounting your cords onto the top of the ring. So to do that, you find the middle of the cord, come up behind the ring, make a loop in the middle of the cord, and then we're just going to tie that on. And that is called a lark's head knot. Very simple, very basic. I'm going to go ahead and knot all these cords onto the ring the same way. Next, I'm going to place my pegs on either side, on the right and left, down below the ring. So as I weave my cords, I have a place to drape them. And we're going to start with the 2 middle cords. You be very sure you've got the 2 middle. 1, 2. So it's these right here. And I'm going to cross the right cord over the left cord. And then I'm going to go behind, bring those cords behind the bottom of the ring and drape them so. Next, I'm going to take the next 2 cords. I'm going to do the same thing, right over left, bring them behind the bottom of the ring, and we're starting to form our weave. We're going to keep on going. As you can see, we've created the weave pattern for the middle of the ring. And next, we're going to use a knot called the double half hitch knot. And we're going to start with the first cord that we crisscrossed on this over to the left. Then we'll come over to this side to the right and we'll knot this cord, and we're going to keep going back and forth. We're going to try to line these up. We want a really nice snug tension. so they kind of line up with where we started our cords on the top side. Because we didn't wrap our ring with yarn before we started, it's a little more slippery than it would be if we had wrapped our ring with yarn first. So that's why I want to really make sure that these are nice and snug. And then I'm going to wrap, I'm going to make a double half hitch on this side, but instead of wrapping my cord to the right, I'm going to wrap my cord to the left. This is the first part of the knot, because I want it to be symmetrical. And then I do it one more time, making sure that's nice and snug. And I'm going to keep working. Just make very sure that you're taking in order the cords as you crisscross them in the reverse order. Now we're ready to add the beads. I find that these wooden beads, these are the largest beads in the bead mix, and they're this dark chocolate brown. Sometimes the inside is a little rough, so for each bead I'm going to take a bead reamer and just smooth out the inside of the bead so that it won't catch this yarn, because this yarn is, it tends to shed. It's very soft and delicate, so I think it's going to pay off to do that, for you to take the time to do that too. So I'm going to add beads on the left and the right, and I'm going to try to, I don't really want them symmetrical, but I don't want them too asymmetrical either. So I'm just going to keep adding back and forth until I have them where I want them. And I'm going to use 13 beads. So my first cord is number 1 on the left side, and I cut a small piece of Scotch tape, and I'm going to kind of wrap that and twist it into a point that will bring this cord through my bead. As you can see, it would be difficult to just get that yarn cord through there otherwise. Try to bring it to a point, slide it through the bead, and you pull the bead through. And we can play around with these a little more later, but for starters we'll just leave it right there. And I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing this, going back and forth until I have all 13 beads. Now that I have all the beads on, I think the next best step is to determine what length you want your overall hanging. I cut the cords extra long in case someone would want a really long flowing wall hanging. So I'll be right back, and we'll cut the bottom and then we'll reposition the beads. Okay, I've determined I want my tails to be about 25 inches long. So I measured that, and that is right about here. So I'm going to go ahead Now I'll fine tune that a little bit. Now, I can either leave it straight across the bottom. My scissors are a little dull, so this is, using sharp scissors is helpful. You can either leave it straight, kind of like that, but I think I'm going to taper mine a little shorter on the sides, coming to a bit of a V in the middle. The last step is to play with the positioning of your beads until you get them where you're happy with them. Okay, that's good for now. I'm sure I'll keep playing with it as time goes on. And if you make your own, I'm sure you will too. Thanks for joining us today. If you make your own macrame wall hanging, we'd love to see it. And you can share it with us on Instagram at #CreateWithCousin. Thank you again. Bye everyone. See you next time.